Namaste ji, namaste. So I believe that to play the game, you must first know the game, and a lot of depression stems when you don't know exactly what you're playing, and then you think you have already lost before you have even started out. I'm talking to those who haven't really, made it into the college of their choices and are just, stuck there. कि हमारा तो बेड़ा गर्क हो गया है, or something like that. So that is not exactly it. So first and foremost, let us understand what exactly is the game, and once you have understood it, you pretty much can master it. So not all hope is lost. Don't you worry about it. So you see, you must consider that there are about 30 to 50,000 odd law graduates. I'm just giving you a rough figure, and it may be true, it may be not be true. It's absolutely just a hypothetically rough figure that illustrates that there are just too many of us. Now understand the problem of a law firm or a top lawyer office. They will have to filter you out. Correct? I mean, there are just too many of you, right? Or rather, too many of us. So there are various kinds of people. What is the automatic filter? Think about it from a law firm's, from a top lawyer's perspective, that we have very few seats available, or where like the amount of work is actually less, but the supply of law graduates is enormous. Now, what exactly do about it? So we apply an automatic filter for getting into our offices. So that is, if you are from a heritage university, so an older university, a heritage university is also a central university, but it is valued. So something like a Delhi University, or like NLS, or something like a NLU Delhi, which are like, now older players in the market and are valuable players. Why? Because you need to crack an exam, and then there are only barely a very few limited seats. And anything that is in short supply, the demand shoots up. Economics 101, and obviously it has to be good also. So thanks to the entrance exam that you have cleared, the law firm or the top litigating office already knows that you are capable of doing something. All right. So that is advantage number one of clearing an exam. Don't worry if you haven't cleared it. We have the game, basically how to play this. What do you do if you aren't really, making the automatic filter here? Then exam you have cleared, the seat, the very limited seats, you had one. So that automatically illustrates to me, as a law firm or as a top lawyer law office, is that you are inherently good. And then you survive 5 years or 3 years of law school. Again, you are a hardworking, intelligent person, because now you have survived college as well, which is rigorous, especially if you're from a top college, because the workload is enormous. And you already cleared an exam to get there, and you beat a lot of other people, right? So we need not invest that much time in training you or getting you up to the speed, and that is why we pay you a little bit higher than the other guys. So a lot many will get left out at this stage. And then those people who have these advantages, like for example, again, now Delhi University may just not have, even fans in their rooms, but still, it is an enormous heritage value. That is why the cutoffs are about 100 odd percent. You must understand that why exactly is it so valuable? A, the seats are limited, and it's a very, very old university, and anybody who survives for more than 25 to 30 odd years in the game is pretty much contains a hell lot of value. So now you have reached here. Then we have another filter waiting for you. Mind you, just not reaching there is the first step. Then we filter you out based on your marks in the semester, the number of backs that you have. Like for example, even if a person from NLS, and then you are like with having like 6 backs on your record, and then you completed your course in 7 years instead of 5 years, that takes a dent on you. That takes a dent on your CV as well. And then basically you enter into the law firm based on the way you speak, the way you interact, how intelligently you are conveying your message, right? It's not being about argumentative, by the way, but saying things that are intelligent in nature, in which the other person knows that you can convey your thoughts in a very decent manner via your speech, because that is pretty much what the basics of lawyering is. Okay, so therefore now you made it here. But what happens now? I'm talking specifically to those. Let's say you didn't manage to clear your exam despite giving it your all. हो सकता है ऐसा हो जाता है. because it's a competitive exam, and then there are a lot many people, and then sometimes parents disagree, then sometimes there are other circumstances in life that you got ill just right before the exam, or even though you were very well prepared and you just couldn't really perform in the exam, whatever, it happens to a lot of us. Then the formula is SDK. What is SDK? You speak better, you dress better, and you know better. Now, knowing also has two aspects attached to it. Knowing better is your knowledge, or rather, I would say, any one subject that you will need to master, in which you can confidently say to the interviewer, well, you go ahead and ask it, and I'm going to answer it to you. And then you know people. Because mind you, let us say that you can't make it through these automatic filters that are in place, but you know someone already here. And they know that you are already, meeting the criterion, that you are a person who is worthy, who can interact very well, who thinks well, who is intelligent, despite not having a seat from a good prestigious college, or despite, not scoring really, really well in your competitive exam. But they know already, so you have technically speaking bypassed it, right? So now you're gone here straight. But then for that, a lot of investment will be needed to bypass these filters, and that investment is speak better, dress better, and know better. Now, what is speak better? Speak as in, so now again, the basics of lawyering is speaking, right? Technically speaking, you are अर्निंग वाया स्पीकिंग इन लॉयरिंग, क्योंकि और तो कुछ है नहीं ना, किसी के जाके स्टेथोस्कोप लगा के यू कांट चेक द हार्ट बीट, यू कांट प्रिस्क्राइब द मेडिसिन और व्हाटएवर. You must speak better, and in India this is a very crude and cruel reality, is that you are judged on the level of your English, especially when you're talking about law firms here, right? They're all अंग्रेजों की औलाद, so therefore you need to be speaking better. Now let us say that your spoken English isn't exactly up to the mark. Then what do? How do you correct it? You invest in it. So you invest some amount of time in it, whether from YouTube, whether from any paid courses. I prefer paying the professional. There is a one very big reason, because see, you can do it on your own. It isn't like that. But by the time that you figure out how to basically to get to this level, it'll take you 2 to 3 years. But the professional is basically charging you the fees precisely to save you that time. And remember, you are pretty much in a race against time when you aren't meeting the automatic filter. Then you dress better. Now, speaking and dressing is basically the makeup of any lawyer. You aren't dressed better, you are like dressed like a furniture, then well, they are going to judge you. And remember, first and foremost, we need to figure out again the game, right, that we are playing. And in this game, you're being judged. So it is a requirement of the game that you pretty much are dressing better. Consider it as an investment. So these are like the makeups. So anything that isn't exactly packaged properly doesn't sell very well, right? Whether it's an iPhone, whether it's any clothes, whether it's anything, basically, it doesn't sell well. And what is your makeup, what is your packaging, is speaking and dressing better. But that won't quite get you to where you're trying to get. You will need to know better as well. Now, know better than who? Than these guys, of course. And this can be done on your own. This will require a lot of investment of your time, right? So if now let us say that you are from a standard average Joe college, doesn't really matter, average Joe private college, doesn't really matter. Let's say that you get a diploma in IPR from a very reputed institute, and the law firm actually specializes in IPR. So then you have a LLB with IPR. Now that's another investment that you have done, correct? Or let's say that you qualify for CS alongside your LLB, which is a very, very remarkably tough thing to do, but you do it any which way, right? So it takes a lot of commitment. And remember, greatness has a cost. Everything has a cost. You'll have to pay a price, and not in monetary terms I'm talking about. And let us say that, you get a LLM, you though your path from the LLB scene, and then you get a top-notch LLM. That also does quite a lot of good to you. Or let us say that you clear the judiciary prelims, you clear the mains, and then, well, you get some very good ranks, and then the law firms, and then you approach a law firm, because now you have again proven to them, well, you aren't exactly, as dumb as they thought you were, right? Then the law firms may run after you. Or another thing is that you get into 2 years of practice. So a lot of people actually don't consider this route. You get into the practice of a practice area that the law firm or the advocate's office is already engaged in, right? Where there are a very few seats available in the litigating office. You get into the 2 years practice. So Jana, that your course was like 7 years or whatever, and without these 2 years, you wouldn't really be ending up making any money. So you get into that practice area and practice, and then when you approach these guys will actually run after you because now you are an experienced player. All right, so 2 years of practice, because then you will be speaking the language of the profession. You pretty much know what exactly to do, and then these guys will forever remain freshers, by the way. So obviously the newer batches will keep on coming in, and these guys require people with experience. Why are people with experience preferred? क्योंकि उनको सिखाना कम पड़ता है, उनके साथ सर कम फोड़ना पड़ता है. So you've already trained yourself, right? So let us say in this hypothetical ladder where you would have been placed here at a much lower level than guys making from the automatic filter. After doing any of this stuff and knowing your subject or people better, you actually get placed here even after 2 years. So they must have climbed from here till here, and you're getting placed here. And if all of this is correct, believe you me, your rate of ascension can actually be higher than the guys who actually made the cut, the automatic filter, all right? And then all your depression of, oh, we got left behind, you actually didn't, right? I think Left Behind and All Hope Is Gone is anyway two Slipknot songs. Yeah. So this is pretty much how you play a smarter game instead of being depressed. Instead of crying about the circumstances and the situation, well, we play around the situation. We actually end up mastering it. Because you see, you cannot just sit there and crying in a corner telling the world is unfair to you. That is forever, that is life. The world will forever be unfair to you. But what you can do is, you can actually take the alternate route and pretty much reach the same end goal where the guys with the automatic filter basically reached. All right, and if you have reached this far of the video, thank you. It says a lot about your seriousness in your career. Check every link in the description. I believe they will be of help to you. All right, and explore the TLOI Talks playlist. I believe that it contains a lot of information that can actually help you a lot in your career. All right, take care, bye.